Okay. All right.
Is this something that then you post on your YouTube channel, or you just do it live and that's it?
I absolutely I normally have a live stream on YouTube, which is what I'm going to open up, as well as Facebook and Instagram.
Cool.
And I'll take a moment to get you.
Take your time.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
$10 can help fund powerful plans to reach undecided voters nationwide. $10 can help open.
When someone closes a door in your face, all you have to remember is when God allows them to close the door in your face, all God wants you to do is walk up the hall. It's some more doors. You just got to walk up the hall. Because I can promise you, he got a better door that he wants you to go through than the one that got shut in your face. You can never lose faith. That's the key. You have to believe in something that you can't see. You have to believe when you don't see no way how. You have to buckle down and keep believing. God is always coming. God just wants you to walk up the hall because he got another door. It's bigger, and when you open and get behind it, you ain't gonna believe what's back there. But you will never get to it if you stand in front of that door crying. Please open it back up. Help me, my family. Stop. Go up the hall, man. What most people do is you give up before God give you the gift. See, when you ask God for something, he boxes it up and he ships it immediately. If it wasn't for my faith, I ain't standing here today. I would just flat out tell you that. But you have to remain on Faith Street in order to receive the gift. The problem is when God boxes up the gift and he ship it to you, he never gives you the date that the package is gonna arrive. Here's the problem with the package. He never gives you the date that it's going to arrive. It's going to come, he just don't tell you when. And listen to me, you're talking to a hood cat. I come from nothing. If you step off over here to I Don't See How Boulevard, he don't ship there. My wife wanted a special kind of car, and I built the garage, the extra garage on the house. She came out there and saw them. She said, Steve, what are you doing? Trust and believe that God got you. Name one time he ain't never had you. I said, I'm building an extra garage. She said, Steve, we got enough cars. What do you need with another garage? Name one time God ever let you down. I went to dealerships. They said, sir, there are none in that color. I said, she want a white one. I said, so I went to the dealership. I said, I want you to get this car in for my wife. She said, sir, there are none in the country and none being made. I said, okay, but when the car come in, could you accept it into your dealership and call me when it get here? He said, sir, I done told you, I can pull it up on the computer. There are no cars in that color, that make or model. Do you want another color? I said, no, my wife wants white. She said, sir, we don't have that. I said, I already built the garage. So when he sends it and you'd have moved off Faith Street, the package gotta go back. It's just like UPS or the post office. If they send you a box and you ain't home, they take it back. If you send it to me in 2020, I'm gonna be here for it. If it ain't coming to 2025, but you know what? He got some pretty good boxes. And I want every box that's got my name on it. I said, I'm gonna give it to her for her birthday, October 10th, 2016. He said, sir, That's impossible. I said, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's just a car that I'm asking for in a particular color. How that's impossible? Here what Christians mess up at. Well, I guess it wasn't the Lord's will. Who are you? How you know what God's will is? It all happens at an appointed time, but you have to stay in faith for the appointed time to happen for you. 2 weeks before my wife's birthday, I got a phone call. It was Perillo from Gold Coast in Chicago. He said, Steve Harvey. He said, are you sitting down? I said, no, I'm standing up. What's happening? He said, you're not gonna believe this. A guy bought a car a year ago. It's been sitting in his garage. It has 8 miles on it. He bought it to me to turn in to me and ask him how much would I give him for it. I said, what is it? He said, it's the white car you've been looking for. I said, I'll be up there to get it. He said, this is unbelievable. I'm telling you, God got a plan for you that's so out of sight, it would trip you out. All you gotta do is ask him for it and wait on it. That God I serve, he's an unbelievable God. I don't listen to what nobody tell me. How God give me this and he won't give it to you? I ain't a better Christian than you. Look at me, I've been up here cussing, I made mistakes. That's the type of Christian I am. You a better Christian than me? You should have something to show for it. God is the creator of all doors, man. I'm gonna just go see what else he got for me. I don't even worry about that. Renew your faith. Keep praying. God is always coming. Your package has already been shipped. Thank y'all very much. I don't listen to what nobody tell me. Once I write it down, I write the vision and make it plain, it will come. Surely it will come at an appointed time. It doesn't matter that nobody sees it. It doesn't matter that it's visible to other people. All you got to do is write it down and believe it. God is greatness, man, all day long. What he's done for me, he'll do the same thing for you. When you imagine stuff, it's actually God showing you a preview of a coming attraction he has for you. The problem with success, the average person doesn't think it's for them. That's the only thing that's stopping you from being really successful. You become rich. The day you decide to become rich, the process starts immediately. If you never decide to be rich, there is no process that gets started. It's not a magic trick. It's not God picks certain people he'll make rich and certain people he don't. He gives all.
All right. All right, Alex. How's your volume? Volume okay?
You hear me now?
I can hear you perfect now.
All right,
All
awesome.
right. All right, so that's one of my more favorite comedians, Steve Harvey. I love the gentleman. He is a very strong center in terms of his faith base. And it really speaks to the audience that you're going to be speaking to this evening. So I have some prepared words for my audience about you. But I do want to take a moment to share with you a little bit about the audience that you're speaking to. When we initially set this up, I was really inspired based on the way you interacted with my students at School 17. You know, some of them got it, some of them didn't, but that's not the point. It was just planting seeds. And when I reached out to you afterwards, I saw the same interest in just planting seeds. So to tell you a little bit about the audience, people who are following us are either in one or two phases of their journey. They're either at the beginning of their entrepreneur journey, and they have realized, they figured out that it's great to you know get a skill set, but there's no equity when we think about leaving something for your generations thereafter. So they're all about, okay, I got a skill. God's gifted me with something. Let me see if I can monetize it. And then we have other people that are a little further on their journey, and they're actually, months, if not, they're ready to shift gears and to cut the umbilical cord, if you will, and jump right into whatever their entrepreneurial passion is. But then recently I discovered, Alex, that we have another group. These are the group that I'm most passionate about. These are our young adults. These are our young people that are at that pivotal point. They're not sure, do I do military? Do I do college? Do I do trade school? And they have a ton of ambition. And the reason that we call this level up is we're looking to highlight Black and brown excellence that have nothing to do with athletics, that have nothing to do with Hollywood, because we have a ton of examples like that. But we don't always realize that we have a lot more examples, like individuals like you inside the community. And so often we just get kind of really narrow vision at, this is what it means. I got to be a rapper. I got to be a baller. But no, there's so many more opportunities that open up. So that's the audience that you're going to be sharing with today. Now, if it's okay, can I share a little bit with my audience about yourself?
Please, yes.
All right, dude. Excellent. All right, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Level Up. Today, we have a powerhouse of a guest who is making waves in the housing and community development world. Buckle up because you're about to dive deep with no other than Alex Castro. Now, Mr. Alex joined, let me share a little background. Alex joined Pathstone in 2015 as the Senior VP of Operations and quickly rose to the ranks. By 2016, he had revolutionized housing operations as the Chief Housing and Community Development Officer, managing a whopping real estate budget of $1.5 million and overseeing 3,000 plus units. Talk about a game changer. All right. But wait, there's more. In 2018, Alex was appointed Chief Operating Officer, expanding Pathway's footprint from New York to Puerto Rico, Indiana, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Vermont, and Virginia. Hope I didn't miss any. And if it wasn't enough, in 2020, he took the helm as president and CEO, steering the organization through international pandemic with an incredible resilience and vision. Alex's expertise is beckoned by a wealth of experience with funding sources like HUD, RAD, LICHTC, Neighborhood Works, America. Plus, he's got a stellar education, an MBA from my alma mater, the U of R, from the Simon School of Business. Let's not forget the accolades. Alex is a regular on Rochester's Business Journal's list as a few honors. In 2023, he was nominated a Rochester Hispanic Business Person of the Year. So let's get ready, y'all. Let's get ready for insight. Let's get ready for inspiration. Let's welcome no other than Mr. Alex Castro to the show. Thank you for being here, Alex.
Thank you. This is a great pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
All right. Well, we're gonna jump right in, man. And even though I sent your assistant a couple questions that we might jump in, honestly, wherever the spirit takes us, typically is how this show works. So, let's talk about your Pathstone journey. Moving from senior VP of operations to CEO. Summarize this for me. If you could give us a tagline in a movie or a poster, what would it be?
Well, I'm going to cheat a little, and I'm going to use an already used tagline, which is mission accomplished.
Talk to me. I love it.
The reason being is when I came to Pastone, it was already with the idea of a succession plan for the exiting CEO. So the plan was to come in early, get to know the organization. So when the prior CEO, Stuart Mitchell, left, I will then move to the CEO chair. So it was something that the Pastone Board of Directors spent time planning. So when I was
Yeah.
voting, this was the ultimate goal.
How was that relationship cultivated prior to you taking the role?
All right. This goes a little bit way back. So I used to be the executive director, the CEO of an organization called the Housing Council. Back in my days of the Housing Council, we were a very small organization. The Housing Council used to be about a $5 million organization. Pastone Corporation is about $100 million a year. So I started conversations with Pastone to affiliate the Housing Council with Pastone. But I've been also in the housing industry for many years. So Rochester is a small community. So, one of the advantages and disadvantages, depending on who you are, is that once you create your brand in Rochester, it sticks with you, right? So people know you. And once they know you, that could be either good or that could be bad. Fortunately for me, it has been a great blessing over all these years. So when it came to that conversation, it was easy conversation to have. Unfortunately, I left the Housing Council in the middle of those conversations. But by 2015, they had already done the affiliation, and I had an opportunity to come back to Pastone. So they brought me in with the CEO in mind.
Awesome. I'm super interested. Like most of the audience that check us out, they love real estate. This is a different type of animal that you have been able to be blessed with. How did that come to pass? How did you go to school with this being the thought, or did it just kind of, the universe just kind of created opportunities for you?
You know what? I think every single good thing that happened to me, the universe has kind of created it for me. Although I strongly believe, one of my favorite sayings is, the harder you work, the luckier you get. So yeah, I think it's a combination of opportunities being available and being prepared to take on those opportunities. So it's been a mixture of both. So
Absolutely.
I just happened to fall into the housing industry because of somebody I knew through networking, and just kept growing in the housing industry from there on. That was back in, I believe it was 1996 or so, that I fell into the housing industry.
Very interesting. So one of the things that I noticed when I was kind of doing my research is that so from let's talk specifically about housing operations. So what was the most unexpected challenge you faced during that restructuring period? And how did you go about addressing the challenge?
Well, it was very interesting because when I came to the organization, there was always talk about having a united organization. Pastone Corporation, at this point, we're in 9 states. We have 9 states in Puerto Rico. We have about 600 employees. So we have a lot of different line of businesses. Housing is just one of them, of those line of businesses. So what I realized is we had several different housing departments, and the conversation was everyone wanted those departments to work closer together, not so much in silos. So although everybody was speaking it, when I started looking at the incentive structure led people in the opposite direction of breaking up silos, right? So although there was the desire, we as managers need to make sure that the incentive structure that we have really takes us in the same direction what an end goal is. So the first thing was work on that incentive structure. So I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. The prior incentive structure focused on the more information you had as a department, the more valuable you were to the organization. What that usually means is that creates silos. So we started moving more in towards the more information that the entire team has, the more valuable you are to Pastel. And
Right.
in order to do that, I started, bringing in a lot of more transparency, building trust with the teams, etc. So that's what got us there. It's just that little switch, right? People respond to incentives.
Absolutely.
We had a lot of great people. All we needed to do was change the incentives, sit back and tweak it. And now we are in a great place where we have a great team of people that are working together because they understand that their value as individual is greater the more the entire team knows.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's a number of books that just speak volumes about if you want to move fast, go by yourself. If you want to move for an extended period of time and have longevity, you got to build a team.
Yep.
And so when you can incentivize a team, it makes a ton of sense. So again, for my friends online that are just joining with us, we're having an intimate conversation with Alex. And Alex has been the visionary at Papstone. The one question we're going to kind of go back and forth, I'm going to throw a mindset question at you because, again, a lot of the people who are following us, when they make that shift from employment to, being an entrepreneur, there's a lot of self-limiting beliefs. We call it imposter syndrome. So mindset is a big aspect. So for you, man, Alex, what was the biggest risk you've taken, either personally or professionally?
The biggest risk, I mean, if we go back a little bit, it starts way before my professional career. The biggest risk I have taken in my entire life was I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, and I moved from Puerto Rico after high school, barely passing high school, actually. One of the reasons why I enjoyed talking to the students, especially in seventh grade, is I was held back in seventh grade.
No kidding.
Yeah, in Puerto Rico. So here, so it always helps for students to realize, it's not all over if something happens to you. You just got to keep pushing forward. But anyways, moving from Rochester to Florida, but then moving from Puerto Rico to Florida, but moving from Florida to Rochester, where I had no one here. Only one person that I knew in town. I had about $50 and a bag of clothes in my pocket. And that was the riskiest thing I ever done. And by all means, the best thing that I ever done. Now, I didn't know it was the best thing until many years later, but, Rochester's been home since 1991, the year of the ice storm.
Wow.
So imagine, being born and raised in a tropical island, and my first year as a winter
Ice storm.
is the ice storm. So yeah, so it was again the largest risk, not knowing anybody, not having any resources. But Rochester has been an amazing community that has cherished, has really helped me develop to who I am today. So I love this community.
Now, just for clarity for our audience, were you here alone, or did you have any family, any relationships at all?
One person that I knew only.
Wow.
I was 19 years old, literally $50 and a bag of clothes.
So, for my audience, I really want to highlight, so often we talk about like 1% doubt and you're out. So often we talk about, this idea of often when you have a plan B, you never really focus on that plan A. This gentleman had no plan B. He was new country. I'm not even completely confident your English was all that together good.
It still isn't, right? 30 some years later, it still isn't, right? But you're right. Yeah, I know language. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, that is the heart of a lot of the reading that I do, that, in order to really maximize with this US American opportunity, the land of the free, you have to be willing to grow. And you don't grow if you don't take risk.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Growth happens outside of our comfort zone.
Absolutely.
That's where growth takes place.
100%. All right. So let's talk about Section 8 vouchers. So handling 5,000 Section 8 vouchers sounds like a lot of big
Uh,
stuff. Do you have any funny or any inspiring stories from this part of your journey that you can impart with us?
Well, I'll tell you what, and I hate to do this because it's talking about myself again, but it's the one that I know the most. So if you don't mind, I'll indulge a little bit, but I'll get to it. So as I moved to Rochester, one of the things that I wanted to do at some point was go back to school, right? Meaning I came over right after graduating high school, but somehow I knew that college was something that I needed to do. It was kind of like somewhat of an understanding. So I started working, and in order to make ends meet, and I had a family, I had to get two full-time jobs. What I realized is that I couldn't work two jobs and go to school. Someone told me about subsidized housing. And I went and applied in a building that is on St. Paul Street, 125 St. Paul Street here in downtown Rochester. It's a big brown building. It
Yeah.
has 500 units. And I was accepted and I was able to live there in subsidized housing, which then allowed me to quit one job and then finish school, start school. I didn't finish school there, but he gave me that opportunity to work one job. So to your point of what is a funny or great story is my ability to use housing services such as subsidized housing
Right.
to be able to, yes, go to school, but also, work full time, but also go to school part time went to school
Yeah.
at MCC. The full circle part about that story of me living in subsidized housing, when I was young in Rochester, I had nothing. Guess who owned that building?
I have no idea who owned it.
Pastone Corporation.
Talking about full circle.